And we're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, YouTube and Twitchers. Chris will be jumping on here momentarily. Hey, welcome back, Mike. Today we got Mike LaRose, ladies and gentlemen, coming back from one of the, actually you were the most listened to episode of 2025.
Wow. Yeah.
I believe it's episode number 83. Don't quote me on that. It's in the 80s somewhere, but when we got our year-end wrap-up, you had a 329% more listened to episode than any other one we did last year, so congratulations.
It must be my voice. It's a, podcast voice.
I was going to say it was your stunning good looks and dashing, charming personality.
That could be that too. Yeah.
I think that was a lot of it.
Yeah.
No, it was a super compelling story. And when I saw that, I got warm on the inside, man. It just made me happy because I remember sitting there doing that episode, and that was everything that I had hoped for in this podcast as far as having somebody that was willing, other than Chris and I, to tell their story of, seeing the darkest side of life and making it through to the other side. So, once again, we appreciate you doing that. And apparently it helped a lot of people. So,
yeah. And well, that's, I think, the hope and the goal with, telling a story like that too, is that someone can relate and maybe get some hope out of that if they're in a dark place at that time, or maybe they know someone, who's going through something like that too.
So if anybody's interested, definitely go back and listen to Mike's first episode. Like I said, I think it's number 83 or 88, but during that episode, I think towards the end, you and I got to talking about music and our passion as fans. Before we jumped on here, Mike was telling me he has a very pedestrian knowledge of music. Those are my favorite kind of people, though, because all the music for me is like split in two sides. I got my musician friends who I love dearly, like Chris, shared the stage with. That's a different kind of musical connection. And I love that. But I think some of my favorite connections are with people like yourself who just have a passion for music. My dad was the first person to introduce me to the Doors and Led Zeppelin and the Eagles and the Rolling Stones, classic rock, the people who started it all. He's like, if you want to be a musician, listen to this. This is what you want to hear.
Yeah.
So I think you and I we were kindred spirits in that we have a love for that same kind of music. You're wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. I'm wearing a Led Zeppelin shirt. We knew we were going to talk about music, but we did not plan this. So that's the kind of level of commitment to listening to music as an appreciation for the artist that I think you and I both have. So where did you get that appreciation? Did you develop it on your own? Did you get it from your parents?
Well, yeah. So, growing up, like I talked about when I tell my story, was like we were in the San Francisco area in the 70s, which was a kind of the ground zero for like the hippie movement and a lot of that rock music that came out of the psychedelic sounds of the
Grateful Dead.
Yeah, all those Jefferson Airplane, Starship, the Rolling Stones, all the
Find Your Way Back is one of my favorite for that feel of that era. If you want to know what that era felt like, go listen to Find Your Way Back by Jefferson Starship. You mentioned that band name and that song just popped in my head right away. I love that song. Guitar, the vocals, everything. It just oozes what that era of music felt like,
Yeah, so I think yeah, like my I guess takeaway from that was that yeah, music's awesome, but like that it also was part of the culture too, and which was like when I was thinking about what we are going to talk about as far as like my I've always been interested in how music is associated with certain cultures or cultural movements, and taking the 60s kind of hippie movement as a great example of that and the music that went along with that, and or like in the 80s when I was, growing up as a teenager, it was um there was people who got into heavy metal like me and were kind of were headbangers, like we're um
Me too.
yeah, so into more like the hard rock, the Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, uh, Judas Priest. There's so many, Guns N' Roses.
Well,
There's
there's
just a
two things that
whole
you said there, not to interrupt you, but there's two things
hmm,
that you said there that I'd like to touch on. The first one is the cultural movement.
yeah,
And you don't know how right you are because I didn't know this until I started kind of investigating, for lack of a better term, how music affected culture, right?
yeah,
It affected it so much that the hippies in the 60s and early 70s had gained so much power that it scared Washington, D.C. And
yeah,
that was Nixon's single biggest reason for enacting all these sweeping psychedelic drug laws was the simple fact that the hippies were going to be able to outvote his party, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's a true story. I mean, he's on tape there in the Watergate tapes, quoted as saying, "We got to do something about these goddamn hippies."
yeah. Right, right. They're becoming a threat to what the government wanted to get done, and all these people protesting and burning draft cards or, all the different things they're doing, civil rights, and it was counterculture, right? It was counter to the mainstream culture. So, and that, yeah, you're right. Yeah. That I've read about that too, is how, LSD, psilocybin, things like that. Once the government targeted those drugs to put a damper on that movement, that counterculture movement.
And then the same thing
That's,
happened in the 80s when you and I were teenagers, just on a different level, where they had what they called the satanic panic, right? Where
mm,
Tipper Gore got involved and you ended up with the PMRC, the Parents Music Resource Center.
yeah.
It got so ridiculous that it ended up in front of the Supreme Court where Dee Snider and
Oh yeah.
there was a few rockers that went there and actually,
Yeah.
put on a suit and said, "Hey, we're not Rob Halford from Judas Priest." He ended up in court
Mm,
because a kid committed suicide over Beyond the Realms of Death.
yeah. Yeah. And they
So
they blamed it on because he cited that music in his note or he was listening to it.
something he was
Yeah.
listening to it when he
Yeah.
committed suicide. I think Ozzy ended up in the same situation over Suicide
Hmm.
Solution, which
Yeah.
if you
Yeah.
listen to the lyrics, Chris and I have talked about it on this show numerous times. It's an anti-drinking song, right?
Mm.
Wine is fine, but whiskey's or yeah, wine is fine, but whiskey's quicker.
Yeah.
Slow to death, or something about he knows the lyrics, but it's
Yeah. I
basically saying,
yeah.
"Hey, keep drinking, you're gonna die." Right? It's an anti-suicide song
Uh-huh.
or an anti-liquor song. But
Yeah.
my point is the same thing happened in the 80s where they tried to convince us that music was a gateway to the devil and all it
Mm.
did was sell more records because Mike and Mike went to whatever record store and we leafed through the bins till we found that sticker and went, "This is going to be cool."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You wanted the one
That's
with that profanity or whatever it said
right.
on it.
Yeah. The
It's
devil
like, yeah,
horns or whatever. Yeah. Well, I think that's, like with punk and heavy metal and those kind of that kind of music that started in I guess the late 70s, mid to late 70s and the 80s for sure. Um, it was like, and like with Ozzy too, like always kind of pushing the envelope for the what is taboo or what's really gonna upset some people and like being in so when I was going to church when I was a teenager, they would talk about that stuff too, like that. Yeah, like these bands are Satanists, or and they're and you should listen to Christian music. And then like we have Striper here, which is a Christian band, and they don't they don't do any of that bad stuff. And Striper was actually pretty good as far as
They were
like
a
a heavy
great
metal
band.
band. Yeah.
Oz Fox is a great guitar player. Michael Sweet's a great guitar player in his own right, and he's a great songwriter.
Mm.
They're one of the they were one of the examples, Mike, that I use as, of course, my heavy metal buddies, they would make. I'll back up a second. The one thing that I always had going for me is I can play a guitar, right? So all I had to do was pick it up and do what I did when you logged on here, right? Like,
Mhm.
I'll just play you some music and you can decide how much you want to make fun of me. But
Huh.
I
Yeah.
like, I literally like everything that doesn't suck, right? I think you and I are in the same boat. If it's got a good beat and it's got a good rhythm, I don't care what genre of music it is. That's for what I like to call the layman,
Mhm.
the average person. I wouldn't even put you in that category. I think that basically, in a nutshell, what we're what we're looking for is to not music shouldn't be a competition, right? That's why I got into it in the first place. I love sports, but at the end of the day, it shouldn't be a competition.
Mhm.
And who cares what genre it is? If
Right. Right.
if a guy is playing Christian rock and that's what makes him happy, I finally remembered my point. If you can't tell, I fumble fucked my way all the way back there, but
Yeah. No problem.
who cares what kind of music it is? If
Right.
that's what makes that guy happy, then that's the point of music, is to be happy.
Mhm.
My mom listens to music that makes her happy that would drive me nuts. She's probably like, what? But that's what makes her happy. That's the point of music, is there's enough kinds of it that everybody's got something that they get to enjoy. But what kills me is when all of a sudden it becomes an argument about, and not even an argument. Like, let's say that you were that kind of person that you found out that I like Britney Spears,
Yeah.
whether I do or I don't, and then you're like, "Oh, come on, dude, what the fuck, man? You listen to Britney Spears? What are you? Were you gay?
Yeah. You're lame or just lame.
Because we grew up in the same era. Do you remember those guys?
Well, yeah. So, yeah, growing up, like, so high school is like, there was you have your cliques or your crowds, whatever. So as a headbanger, I would not listen to Depeche Mode or the Thompson Twins, or that they had this whole slew of kind of like preppy type bands. There's another name for it. You probably know like that kind of that genre, I guess. But
Well, back then it
U2,
was just pop, right?
pop. Yeah, it was more pop, I guess. Yeah.
It would have been
So
top 40.
yeah, yeah. All those. So like I would not listen to those just by reason of that, like that's not cool to me. Like so I yeah, like
So you were that guy.
yeah, at that time I was for sure. I was thinking about that when you said that. I was like, yeah, like I've always been open-minded to genres, but really as a teenager I wasn't though. No, it was like cuz like the group, my friend group, we're into rock and heavy metal, and we're not going to
And of course,
go with that.
being a heavy metal guitar or rock guitar player, Chris hates it when I call it heavy metal, but
Mhm.
basically we were a rock band. I was writing rock and metal riffs under his kind of rock styling voice. He had more of a southern rock kind of ten,
Mm.
tendency to his voice. So
Yeah.
I guess, that's what lent us to the rock edge. But I was just like you, man. The music that I gravitated towards was Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Metallica, Megadeth, Deep Purple,
Mhm.
Black Sabbath. Those were the bands that I loved listening
Aerosmith for
to.
sure.
Oh, for sure.
Hmm.
Anything that had a bit of an edge to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
But
Aerosmith was the first concert I went to. I think I was about 15. Went with a couple friends, and where we lit up a joint. We
yeah.
had pretty good seats, and we lit up a joint, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like this is like it took me to a whole nother place. Like I was like, "Okay, yeah, like this is."
I
this
like
is
this.
something I like. Yeah. So it just like, I felt like my universe just
What year was that,
expanded.
Mike, so I can figure out what tour it
Well,
was?
that would be 85. I think it was the Done with Mirror tours,
Okay,
maybe.
yep, that was it.
Kind of when they were just coming back out of like addiction and rehab, I think maybe for the first time. But um I think at that time they had already been to rehab. I'm not sure, but I think that's kind of like, and they went a couple of times, I know, but like that was maybe when they first tried it.
Yeah, I think that was their first go around with it.
Yeah. So, and Steven Tyler really made an impression on me at that time. Like I really felt like he really connected with the audience in an amazing way. And then a couple of years later, I was in Chicago, and I had a job driving horse and carriage downtown Chicago, and I'm driving the carriage along. I don't know if I told you guys this story before, but I'm driving the carriage along Michigan Avenue, making just a mile downtown, and I see this like four guys walking along. They look like just like a group of headbangers, and I'm like looking a little closer, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Aerosmith. Um, so I got done with my ride and I went over towards the Ritz Carlton as I saw them walking down there, and I caught up with them and I said, hey, you guys want a free carriage ride? And Steven Tyler turned around and shook my hand and said, no, maybe some other time. And they kept going to the hotel. But that was, I thought that was really cool that he was,
That's awesome.
yeah, that he did that.
Welcome, Chris Dunham.
Thank you.
Because we're on this subject.
Yeah.
So my first concert was Poison.
Right.
Mhm.
It was cool. Mike, his first concert was the Done with Mirrors tour, Aerosmith.
Oh, right on.
I know Chris has told this story before, but
Mhm.
because we're talking music, and this is one of the best rock and roll, not rock and roll concert experiences I've ever heard.
Poison?
No,
No.
tell the audience who your first concert was, and try and do the story justice, because I
Okay.
laughed my ass off.
Okay,
the first
so
time.
so obviously, Mike, you're married to Chris, so this is with the Rodardi family. Tony, myself, and then the Piles. I don't remember. You probably remember the Piles, Cherry.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
Pile.
just
Okay,
saw them
so-
recently at their Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah. So the Piles. Alan got tickets to a concert at the Madhouse on McDowell in Phoenix, which is Veterans Memorial Coliseum. We got to be like, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, somewhere around there, maybe. I'd have to look at the year. But so my first actual true concert experience was Men at Work, which a lot of people, Men at Work, it's a great band. Yeah, here's the problem. We're about probably 20 minutes into the show, right? They stop the concert, the band does. They turn on all the house lights. And between the drum riser and the front of the stage, they drop this giant map. And I'm not kidding you, it's a giant map. Like, Colin Hay takes out a pointer and starts educating us all on where Australia is. That was my first concert ever. And then, later in life I ended up singing real rock and roll, but that was my first true experience to a concert of a rock band.
When he told that story the first time, at the end, he was like, if this is rock and roll, I don't like it.
Right. Because it was just like, what the hell? Like, really? I don't need a geography lesson, man.
That's just the first thought that popped in my head when
Did
Mike
he
was
tell
like,
you what about the Vegemite sandwich? Too?
Yeah,
Like, What
right,
the hell's a Vegemite
right.
sandwich?
Jake had a Vegemite sandwich when he was in Australia. When he was in Japan, they got on a ship for deployment, and it went to Australia, and legit, man, he had a Vegemite sandwich. Said it's disgusting. He'll never eat it again. Never, ever.
Yeah.
That's cool. Sorry, I'm late. Sold the house though, so that's a good thing.
All right. Congrats.
that's what I
Good
told
way,
him.
good way to start off your day, huh?
Yeah, second day of the year.
Mhm.
No complaints.
When that's how you make your living, you got to go when duty calls.
Right. So what else were you guys talking about that I missed?
We
We're
basically just
talking
started
about-
off,
Oh, go ahead.
just talking about music,
Right
and
on.
somehow we got talking about first concerts, and
Sure.
I asked him what got him into music.
Oh yeah. Right
Did
on.
we ever round that out? Was it your?
Yeah, I think like growing up in that culture that I grew up in, or in the,
San
70s
Francisco.
with the hippies and
The hippies, yeah.
there were music festivals. I remember going to music festivals. I don't remember the bands that we listened to really, but Janis Joplin lived down the street from us at one point, apparently. Like we were right in the thick of it. So
Wow.
there was, I remember being exposed to that. Personally, I didn't really start, I guess, listening to music or getting into music more on my own until I was like probably 14 or 15.
Right, which is everybody. Right.
So
Yeah.
looking back on that, Mike, What was that like living in San Francisco during that time? I know you weren't aware of it at the time because nobody's aware of their surroundings and what's going on, but looking back on it, what was that like being a kid during that time, being in the melting pot of what became popular culture?
Yeah, well, it was exciting. I remember, and I remember like just like the atmosphere or the vibe, the culture was very it seemed like there was a lot of uh, energy, like good energy that was not only in the music but in like these
The lifestyle.
this yeah, and like the ideas they had for this cultural movement, that was, I guess you call the hippie movement, but like that there was a lot of the free love and stuff like that too, but there was like just this like kind of brotherhood, I guess you would
Yeah,
say,
there you
maybe
go.
like feeling too, like, and even as a young kid, I felt like I was included in that, which was nice. So yeah, it
Yeah,
was
and it's the concept nobody's left behind, right? So if your neighbor needed something, you would step up if you had the ability to help them, right? So
yeah,
if,
more like, communal
right,
kind of brother.
communal
Yeah.
living. Yes, there you go. Like the
Well, the
Manson
reason I
family.
brought that up, Chris, was that
Yeah.
conversation first led to Nixon enacting these sweeping psychedelic drug laws, right?
Oh,
And then that led to the 80s with the PMRC and the Satanic Panic, but it also led to we were going in a direction of free love. We all became, we realized we needed each other, to your point. We were helping each other. Then they took away the psychedelics, and all of a sudden cocaine took over, and it was
oh yeah.
basically
Changed the
balls
world.
to the wall. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole popular culture changed to another movement, right? It wasn't the same anymore.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And I think that, when you look at the drugs that were associated with the particular
Eras.
music too, like that
Oh.
also had an impact on the music. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Is that, yeah.
And that's mostly my point. Think about the kind of music you were listening to when it was free love, and then think about the kind of music you were listening to when it was cocaine, and then think about the kind of music you were listening to in the 90s when heroin and opiates took over.
Yeah. Yeah.
No shit. I never thought of it that way. That's a brilliant. That's a
Then
brilliant.
you
way
got
of
into
looking
the
at
grunge
things.
scene out of Seattle with the heroin and the depression and
Yep. The
like,
teenage angst. The woe is
the
me.
angst.
Yep.
Whether that's calculated somewhere subliminally or whether that's a byproduct, I don't know, but each cultural movement has definitely had their own music based on the drugs they were doing.
I think it would be a byproduct because
sure.
I don't know how you could consciously make a decision. Okay, now we're gonna get out of the pot and free love. We're gonna go start, cocaine, and then you know what I mean. I just think it evolved kind of like how music evolved, right? You have the hair metal, then you go into grunge. So I think it just organic. I would say that organically just evolved.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with that for sure.
But Mike lived in the era. So did it evolve like that, Mike? Do you remember when it went from free love to 8 balls?
well, that's interesting because it did, like, I moved to the Midwest in about 79 probably.
Yeah.
So at that time, like, things were changing, right? And that movement has kind of pretty died out, and the hippies were like cashing in, they were all like wanting to
be yuppies,
get careers and property and money to, so they realized, there's a big shift there. I think too is also like, I think, and you see the 80s, the economics too were also part of it too, right? Like suddenly there's I think more interest in making money too, right? Like, and making a lot of money, and like Wall Street, and greed is good and that kind of thing, like, and that kind of like the fast and hard music and the cocaine all kind of went along with that too, I think.
I never liked fast and hard music. Still don't to this day. The hardest and the fast I'll listen to is Metallica. Some of the stuff that Mike likes, I never that Mike over there, not the Mike in the middle.
Right.
Yeah.
Mike in the middle, isn't there? Is that a show too?
Yeah, probably.
Malcolm.
Like
Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah. Okay.
See, it'd be funny. Yeah, it'd be funnier. They're supposed to be rebooting that too. I don't know if that's true or not.
They better do it justice because the first one was hilarious.
Well, they're bringing, from what I saw on that, it's the original cast.
Oh,
They're
well,
just
then maybe
bringing,
it'll
they're,
be good.
yeah, they're just bringing them back as, kind of like how there's that innuendo forever about Home Alone making another one where Kevin's the grown up now.
Yeah.
Which I think would be hilarious, but
It would if they did
I don't,
it right.
I don't know if they're ever going to really do it. Especially now that Reiner's dead. Wasn't Rob Reiner part of that? He was, right?
Home Alone?
Yeah. John
yeah,
Hughes and Reiner, they were part of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were part, yeah. Yeah.
So on that subject, since he brought it up, I don't know how to ask this. I guess how heavy of music do you listen to, Mike?
So I don't listen to like speed metal or like real like thrash speed metal. I'll get into like maybe some Danzig or something like that.
See, now I would call Danzig groove metal, right?
Groove
It's not
metal?
Groove?
Yeah.
Groove metal? Okay.
Mhm.
I never got into Danzig, man. I liked the song Mother just because it was dark.
Mhm.
But the
Listen
dude
to
was
Twist of Cain.
I've
You'll
heard
like
Twisted
that,
Cane.
too.
I've heard Twisted Cane.
Or Bullet for My Valentine, I think is that. Or
yeah. That's
Yeah.
a band, right?
Yeah.
I'd put that on sometimes just to like rock out in the car or something. But
Yeah.
typically it's more like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth would be like is the hardest metal I'd probably go for. But
You never got into Pantera?
not really, no.
Yeah, I didn't either.
See, I
Not
love
really.
Pantera.
Yeah.
I think seeing them twice helped.
Yeah.
Being at the concert and understanding what their message was. What are you trying to get across?
What were they trying to get across, Mike?
Just sheer aggressive,
Yeah.
tight. They were the tightest band I ever saw. If they made a mistake, I never heard it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that I was like, I'd hear about them and they seem to have like a good following, I think. But I think there was actually someone here local in Phoenix who was in that band at one point, but that I ran into in the recovery community. But
Was it Kerry King?
Pantera?
No, that's not Kerry King.
He was in Slayer.
Slayer, that's right, okay.
Yeah.
Don't hate me. Don't hate
I
me.
could be
viewers.
wrong in that too. It might have been or maybe it was Faster Pussycat. Maybe I was thinking of.
Take Me Down?
Could be. I don't.
The
I
singer?
don't remember the name. Yeah, I don't remember the name.
I actually just saw a clip of them, Mike, from New Year's Eve or the night before. They sounded really good. So that guy got his life back together. I don't know if you know this. His girlfriend, I think she was either murdered or committed suicide on a cruise ship. Look that up, Chris.
Oh, what's his name?
You spell it Taime.
Taime.
Down.
Oh, there it is. American musician.
Yeah, his girlfriend died on a cruise ship under mysterious circumstances not that long ago.
The fiance of Faster Pussycat's lead singer Tammy Down has died after going overboard on an 80s-themed Royal Caribbean cruise. According to her family, Kimberly Bush, 56, fell from the ship after an argument with Down. Her mother, Carol Bunch, told TMZ.
Fell from the ship.
Fell from the ship.
It's kind of difficult to fall off a cruise ship, but
it is.
Maybe if you're really drunk and you're leaning over the ledge or something. I don't know. But that's the thing with the cruise ship deaths too, is like I sold cruises once years ago, but they're
That's
like
not surprising.
what haven't I done? But so they these cruise ship deaths, they try to keep them kind of under wraps right out of the media because obviously it's bad press, but yeah, like it happens. So people disappear, fall overboard, and there's really nothing like, there's some gray areas as far as like, law enforcement of who's,
right. Cause you're in the water. You're in the water. There's
especially, that. Are you in
international waters? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there she was. I don't know if
really
that's
sad.
That's following. Okay. So there it is. The insight. Our crew immediately launched a search and rescue effort and working with local authorities and providing support and assistance to the guests' families during the difficult time. To respect privacy of guests, we have no other additional details. I could see it's probably because of the collagen in the lips. You just like had it. Like I'm done with fake lips.
Yeah.
Maybe
maybe the boobs or the lips. I don't know.
Yeah.
Stop doing that, ladies. That's not a
gotta
trick.
go.
It's not. Nobody wakes up and says, "Oh, I want a chick with collagen
like,
lips."
Yeah, if we get a divorce, she's taking half my money, so that's not going to. Were they married or was it just a girlfriend?
I think it was his girlfriend, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah. No, they were saying girlfriend. They were saying girlfriend. It wasn't. It wasn't. Oh, a fiance. It was a fiance. Yeah, fiance.
Oh, okay.
Oh, March 2nd. Wow, 2 days
Yeah.
before my birthday.
Well, it was probably a tragic accident. I mean, I don't think most people get on a cruise with the intention of dumping their fiance overboard, but
No.
no. You don't wake up. You don't wake up on a Tuesday and say, "Oh, I'm going to do today," unless you're
No,
a serial killer.
I think there was I know we're joking around, but there was a lot of people who were joking around in a not funny way. And I'm
Right.
pretty sure he wasn't anywhere near where it happened.
Hmm.
And that's where the story eventually came out that he just read where she had a fight with her mother, right?
Yeah.
Or his
Yeah,
mother.
with his mother. Yeah, with
his
him and
mother,
his
yeah.
mother. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and there's, I mean, she could have Peter Panned off the deck too, because you can Peter Pan off those things. It's not that hard to climb over and go.
No.
yep.
You
Yeah,
know.
if that's what you're trying to do, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and by the time somebody saw you up there, it's too late. I mean, when one of the last cruise we went on, we figured out how to do a 5K on the ship. Like I think it was the seventh floor. You go all the way around the perimeter, and there were plenty of spots to just you grab the rail and go, woo, see ya.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't do that,
Mhm.
But if you want to kill yourself, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah, or you could maybe like if you wanted to do a disappearing act, like especially if you're in the
Oh.
Caribbean, the water is pretty warm, so you could like
Oh.
jump overboard, have someone pick you up on a little
Nice.
boat,
Do a
and
DB
just
Cooper.
disappear. Yeah, yeah.
A little escape from Alcatraz action too, right?
Yeah,
Because they never found those bodies either.
Right? Yeah, that's a
So that's a
mystery.
good idea. So basically, you have everything set up in the Caribbean, new identity, and you just find yourself off the ship. You get picked up by a little boat that takes you back to wherever, and then you get all your new identity, and you get on with your life.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So just thought
Creed
of
did that.
Yeah.
Creed Bratton did that. Every time he had a struggle in life, he would just reinvent himself.
Mm. Yeah. Change
You
his
know who
name
Creed-
and everything, or would it?
No, he just he'd transfer debt. He'd find somebody who was dead, and then he would transfer all his debt to them, and
Uh-huh.
then start life over again.
That's going to
You
be
know-
my goal for 2026.
You know who Creed Bratton is, right?
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. It's some of my weirdness of conversations. Like we talk about this family all the time in Chicago. The Gallaghers. Remember the Gallaghers? Frank, Fiona. Creed, man, it's Creed.
The Office.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah. See, Creed. Now, here's a funny story about Creed. Okay, about The Office. They didn't write for him at all. Everything he did on the show was ad lib. He had absolutely
Really?
no script. He had
It was all-
no script
It was all
whatsoever.
improv?
All improv. And he was actually a musician
never
in the
knew that.
60s.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and he's actually he was a touring musician in the 60s. Like legit. The guy's crazy. And his real name is Creed Bratton. That's what's crazy about it. Here
I
it is.
never
I'll
knew
tell
any
you.
of that.
Yeah. So Creed Bratton, born William Charles Schneider in February 8th, 1943. American actor, musician, former member of the rock band Grassroots, but he's best known for playing the fictionalized version of himself on the NBC comedy The Office. But yeah, traveling musician, global excursion, traveled through Europe, Africa, Middle East, played guitar with the large folk festivals in Israel, appearing with his group, the Young Californians. That eventually evolved into where he got into the Grassroots.
He was
That
a
was
member
back-
of the Grassroots.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
he was in 1965 was created. Goes on to talk about the Grassroots top songwriters offering all the different things, the songs. He was involved in the Wrecking Crew, the bunch of LA studio musicians. He was one of those for a while.
That's a great documentary if you've never seen that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, really good documentary.
What's it called? The Wrecking?
The Wrecking Crew. It's
The Wrecking Crew.
it's back like Sinatra era, basically, is where I guess you would call
All the
it,
way
right?
through the 60s.
Yeah, you'd have like the Rolling Stones, using my prime example because they were one of them. They'd come in and Jagger would be singing, but they would have studio musicians putting everything together, and then the band would learn all the music and then go on the road and tour. So they didn't, aside from the singer, nobody that was in the band was actually in the studio during that era. They had
There
these
were certain bands that couldn't perform in the studio, so
Right.
these guys would basically play all the instruments, and then the band would go out and play the songs live.
The
They
Wrecking
weren't
Crew.
good enough to get it in one take or two
No.
takes or,
Hmm.
you know, we're talking back when they were recording only 4 tracks. So they didn't have all these overdubs that they could do. You had to be pretty much perfect, and the whole band was playing in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
So they had these people who were just killers. You know, they could go in and in one take, they would read the chart one time and they would play the song. And
yeah, people are just more studio musicians and don't actually perform with the band or tour.
Exactly.
But they're still really good. Like, was I thinking of Buckethead?
Yeah.
Who's an amazing guitarist, but like, well, he performs, I guess, by himself, but he's not like, but
his
he's also
problem
done a
is
lot of
he
studio
is
work.
a complete introvert. That's why he has that whole get up.
Yeah.
He never, I just read an article about him not that long ago. He has horrible stage fright. That's where the mask comes from. That's where the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket came from.
Wow.
And I didn't know this. He's 6'7".
Oh God.
Oh, is he that tall? Wow, that's huge. Yeah. So he's
like,
kind of feels awkward and self-conscious from him. Yeah.
But talk about one of the greatest guitar players to ever pick up the instrument. Holy crap. He invents scales and notes that I didn't know could fit into a composition.
Yeah. The Wrecking Crew is on Netflix, Mike.
Okay.
It was in 2008. I'm trying to find a little description of it, but everything I'm clicking on.
I think I've maybe seen seen it there, but didn't really look into it as far as looking at more.
It's
details,
definitely worth watching for sure.
Yeah, and they basically, one of the things that I just pulled up the documentary itself. They basically were involved in throughout the 60s and 70s. Like the Beach Boys used the Wrecking Crew.
Yep.
Like the singer would go in, but then Glenn Campbell used the Wrecking Crew. The Monkees used the Wrecking Crew. It's amazing amount of people that actually just used the crew. I'm trying to find the picture of them because the bass player was a chick, man.
Yep.
And she was just badass, dude. Like, just like watching the documentary, I was like, holy shit, this chick just is amazing.
I wish I could remember her name. I just read an article about her too a couple days ago.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find because they're not showing any of them. That it's talking about the documentary and that kind of jazz, but it's not dropping the people. It's just commenting on the movie itself. It's like they're not pulling up the images of the actual Wrecking Crew members. It's just a Wrecking Crew. Let's see what this one is. So this is a picture of them in the studio.
The crazy thing is behind the scenes, the American public didn't know any of this was going on, obviously.
Right. So that's a picture of the Wrecking Crew. So all those are hired musicians playing on somebody's album in the 60s and 70s. Because the other thing I read, it went through the 60s and 70s. They were legit. That's what they were doing. The singer would come in and everybody else would be studio musicians, session musicians, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
It's pretty crazy.
Well, then you got those certain, I guess, stars that are able to play all the musicians too.
Like Prince,
or the instruments like Prince or
Phil
the
Collins,
guy from Smashing
Phil Collins,
Pumpkins,
Kid Rock,
Billy Corgan.
Like they'll go into the studio and they'll play all the instruments themselves. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah,
I came across that solo that Prince did again on the week after he got snubbed from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We've talked about that.
I think you
Mike.
posted that on Instagram, didn't you?
Yeah,
I was listening to that.
I came across it, so I put it up again.
Yeah.
A lot of people
amazing.
don't know that Prince is probably the baddest guitar player to ever pick up the instrument.
Yeah,
right.
According to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he was not even in the top 100. So he showed them.
He just proved that, like, check this shit out. And that was right off the top of his head. It wasn't like he
that was just
rehearsed.
improv.
That was an improv solo.
Yeah.
It's like, watch this shit.
Yeah, he was.
Here's another
a musical genius. You would say probably, right? Like,
absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, like
that
if
dude
he
lived
had
on
been
another universe.
A couple hundred years ago, he would have been a Mozart or a Beethoven or something. But
Here's a funny Prince story. So Weird Al, for years, wanted to do Prince's music, and even though he didn't have to, he asked every artist permission. He did not have to, but he felt weird if they didn't accept it. Prince always told him no. So they both got put up for a Grammy, and they both got put up
Yeah.
in the same row, right?
Oh, that's funny.
So he gets a letter from Prince's manager that says, "Don't look Prince in the eye." And everybody in the row got the same letter, right? It wasn't just Weird Al. Prince was just, I'm telling you, he lived in a
Prince was
different
weird.
universe.
He did.
So Weird Al's like, not only did he keep dissing me and not letting me use his song, but then I, get put up for a Grammy and we're in the same row and I can't shake his hand or anything. I can't even look at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No eye contact. Yeah. I think he's not the only musician. I think Bob Dylan was like that too. Like, yeah, don't want to meet people or have eye contact or.
I think that's dumb.
It is dumb. And I guess the reason that I would defend Prince is at least he was a fan of music and he was very appreciative of other musicians, where Bob Dylan has been quoted many times as hating other music. And the only reason that he was happy that people covered his music is because it made him money.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm seeing sound like a different side of him I hadn't heard before.
Once you stop smoking all the weed, man, and you start seeing dollar signs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's what, like I mentioned earlier, that's what the hippies did. They all decided to cash in, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah, but the thing that I can't ever accept is somebody who doesn't always continually be a fan of music, right? It doesn't matter that you're a musician. If you're not a fan of music first and foremost, I can guarantee you we're not going to get along.
Yeah. You got to be a fan.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you be a fan of music?
Because too many musicians get caught up here in their head, and all of a sudden now I'm an artist, right?
Yeah.
Don't talk to me. I'm an artist.
Right.
Well, Prince was an artist. Remember the artist formerly known as Prince?
He was, but another reason I'll defend him is he holed himself away in that mansion and just wrote music. He didn't bother anybody. He didn't.
True. True.
He basically asked everybody to leave him alone so he could create.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew up in Minneapolis in the 80s, and of course Prince was big on the music scene there on that time, and so in downtown Minneapolis he had a club called First Avenue, where some pretty big acts would play. I think he played there sometimes. I never saw him live, but a lot of people in my school were into Prince, but at that time that wasn't really fitting in with what my group was into, so we didn't really get into Prince, but later on I came to appreciate him more, and like I did go to First Avenue. Then they had a little club right next door that was called 7th Street Entry, where local bands could play, like new up and coming acts would play. So that was just, it was a pretty lively music scene there. And then I had a couple of friends who were drummers too. So, and one was in a band. One, I don't think they were both in bands, but I only saw one of them. But I was definitely like, we'd be going to bars and clubs and that too, and listening to music even as a teenager, and that, in that scene. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. See, I didn't really appreciate Prince till I got older either. Like everybody was introduced to Purple Rain, right? Because Purple Rain was a massive movie, number one, and right.
And that was like mid 80s. When did Purple Rain come out? Like 86, 87?
Right. So that was
84, probably.
Yeah.
84? Okay.
So that was my introduction, as most people, but it probably took another 15 years or so to actually then realize what a musician he was. I didn't realize he played all the instruments probably till about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, because it's not something that you would commonly know, right? But then now that he's gone, and then you start seeing all these things, excerpts of his life coming up. It's, the solo for Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I never knew that story till it popped up on the socials in the last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, and then I saw the videos of them on stage. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
My appreciation for him came in the same way that it came for Pantera. A friend of mine had an extra ticket to the concert and didn't want to go by themselves, and I was I was in the same boat as you guys. I didn't have an appreciation for him. I knew who he was. I liked the songs that were on the radio, but not enough to go buy the music.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
When I saw him in concert and I saw him shred on a guitar, I was like, holy shit, Eddie Van Halen could take some lessons from this guy. And I'm sure Eddie will tell you the same thing before I get all the hate mail again.
Yeah.
Prince
Yeah.
was just on another level. It was like he equated to the guitar the same way Stevie Ray did for me. And Eddie's in that same boat, right? It was an extension of themselves. He wasn't playing it. He was pulling it out of the air and giving it back to you. It was effortless.
Yeah. I put the solo on our Facebook page.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, because the actual video itself is like 6 minutes long.
It's outstanding.
For the whole, I would like to know that, because if you watch the video, you'll see him every now and then look at Tom Petty like, I'm still going, man.
Oh, yeah. Not done yet.
It's like, yep, nope, not yet. Yeah, not
and
yet.
the night that I saw him, he did Jimi Hendrix Red House. That's what blew me away. And he did the same thing, probably a 5 or 6 minute guitar solo in the middle of Red House.
Yeah.
And nobody in that crowd wanted that solo to end. It wasn't like people are looking at their watch, is he ever going to quit playing? Yeah. That 5 or 6 minutes went by like in an instant because every note that he played had meaning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you can tell. And the Hall of Fame one, you can completely tell how he's just lost in what he's doing. And it does. Time just, you look down, the video's over. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
You
can't believe you just listened to somebody play a guitar solo for that long.
Right. That wasn't supposed to be there. I'm sure the producers were freaking out. What are you doing?
What would you say was the best concert you've ever been to date, Mike? That just blew you away.
Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of concerts in recent years, but that's a good question.
That blew you away. It doesn't have to be
well,
recent,
like I talked about that first Aerosmith concert. That'll always be something that I will remember that made a big impact on me. And then Iron Maiden I've seen a couple of times too, and they put on a really great stage show.
Yes, they do.
So that's a fun show. I saw the Grateful Dead a couple of times.
How are they live?
They were good. I mean, yeah, part of that experience, of course, I have to say that I dropped some acid, so that was part of it too. But that took you to a whole nother place too. So, and they would just go on for hours and hours too. It just seemed like for just go on and on. So, and they had 2 drum sets at one point and all this other. So it was quite a show too.
Right on.
But I don't know if I'd be able to narrow it down. Funny, I remember one concert I saw that made an impact on me too, and it was just outside of Paris when I was there that year. And Midnight Oil played an open air concert there, and we were all like just outside, just rocking out to this. And I wasn't like a huge fan of Midnight Oil or anything, but that whole show, I guess, made a big impact. It was just a lot of fun, like that kind of thing. It was kind of, I guess unscripted, like not really super organized, but it was a fun show.
Right on. Yeah, for those you don't know, Midnight Oil is a band from Australia. They were all about.
They were a good band.
Yeah, they were. They were all about supporting the Aborigines and raising money and equality and things like that for them. For that.
Yeah, very like socially conscious.
Yeah.
What was their big hit? Beds Are Burning.
Beds Are Burning. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we sleep when the beds are burning?
That was one of our little town's claim to fame. That's how lame we are. They stopped at our Kmart. They didn't play here or anything. They just stopped at the Kmart. They probably had to get some shitter paper for the bus or something.
That's funny. Yeah.
That made the newspaper.
What?
You need anything from Ashes?
I don't. I don't. Here, come say hi. That's Mike and Mike.
What up?
What up, Jake?
What's up, man?
Ask Jake the concert
How's it
question.
going, brother?
Let's see what he says.
Oh, it's good. How are you?
What's the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, that's a hard
Live.
one.
That just blew you away.
I took him to not Matchbox 20. I always do that. To 30 seconds, well, yeah, but you fell asleep. 30 Seconds to Mars.
Twice.
The second one
I bet they were
the first one was better because it was with Linkin Park. That was at the height of 30 Seconds to Mars, wouldn't you say? Yeah.
That was after This Is War album came out.
Yeah.
Either it's tied between the 30 Seconds to Mars concert in 2013 or Alter Bridge.
Oh,
What,
yeah.
2018?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alter Bridge was good.
Yeah.
I actually played all the songs that I knew, so it was sick.
Yeah.
Their set list was nice.
And we were
like
front
right in
row,
front of the stage.
in front row, yeah. Mark Tremonti's side.
And you got 4 of the best musicians that have ever graced the instrument.
He said, and then you have 4 of the greatest musicians who ever graced the instrument. Yeah. Yeah, it was cool. Or, I mean, I can always brag that I saw Guns N' Roses in concert.
True. Chinese Democracy album. At Celebrity
which one?
Theater.
Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Guns N' Roses. Yeah.
During the Chinese Democracy Tour when they came back for that.
Okay.
That was a big production.
I have that shirt somewhere.
With Chinese Democracy?
Yeah, I have a concert shirt somewhere.
Yeah, I
How
think
old were you,
seeing
like
Guns
11?
N' Roses in their
9.
prime would have been something special too.
I
And
saw
legit,
that
he fell
in their
asleep
first
during the
time around,
set.
yeah.
The set. Like, how do you fall asleep during Guns N' Roses concert?
Chris knows mine. Mine's obviously Metallica. That changed my life. That's what made me want to be a musician for sure. 1988 on the And Justice for All tour, I was in the front row.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Queensryche opened up. That concert definitely changed my life.
I need to go to more concerts, but there's
you're a little busy.
Yeah, it's kind of a little busy.
I think there's something about an outdoor concert that's, I don't know. To me, it's maybe the sound might not be as good, as you might get it in a certain amphitheater or something. But just like the vibe and the atmosphere in an outdoor concert to me is a lot of fun.
For sure.
The second 30 Seconds to Mars was outdoors.
Yeah, Cricket Pavilion.
Oh, outdoors.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jared Leto was like, he's like, how are you guys standing outside of this so long? You guys are all fucking lizards. 'Cause it was like
July.
It was like, it was like July before my first day of senior year.
Huh.
And it was like,
I mean, to our benefit, we were in the pit, so we had space.
it was like,
So for those of you that are just
105.
listening, the Cricket Pavilion is out in the middle of the desert in Arizona. And if you're playing there as a band in the summertime, it's going to be about 115 degrees.
Yeah.
I saw Steve Miller there 3 times. And the third time I saw him, he said, I'm pretty sure I need to fire my tour manager because he keeps booking me here in August.
Right. It's the wrong time of year to be playing outdoors in Phoenix for sure.
For sure.
well, I got to go change the oil in my car. I got to bounce. So,
All right. Good seeing you, Jake.
You as well.
That was the Marine, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Always good to see Jake.
Yeah. He came. It was funny. He came home for Christmas. Then he had to leave Saturday after Christmas just to come back the 31st. They made him come back for like 2 days. It's like, this is the dumbest thing ever, Dad.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of short.
Yep. He just bought a
Our national debt just keeps ticking up.
Right. He just bought a 1979 Camaro with his Trump dividend, they called it. It's a project car. It's a project car.
Very
He's gonna
project car, so it's kind of rough.
Car.
Yeah.
It's it's got 4 different tires, 4 different rims, has no carburetor.
Okay. What's it got? The 350?
350, small block.
Okay.
He registered it here. Plates as gas guzzler.
He needs to throw a 454 in there, man.
He's gonna turn it into a manual. Him and his buddy,
nice.
buddy Tyler, back in Pendleton. They're gonna rehab it. It's his project car. I was like, right on.
Yeah,
He's excited
cool,
about it, and he's not. He came from me, so he's not mechanically inclined. So YouTube's his friend, and his buddies. Like he changes his own oil, all that kind of stuff. He works on his own car and shit. I'm like, right on, son.
Mm-hmm.
I can change.
YouTube is amazing for that shit.
It is.
Yeah.
That's why we're sitting here doing this podcast. That's how we learned to do it.
And because of what his job is in the Marines, he has free time. He's not going out, sniping anybody. He's accounting, supply, and logistics. So he's got his office hours, and he's got a cake job.
Mm-hmm.
So
teach yourself to do something else.
He's got time to burn. Yeah. We told him when he was in Japan he should learn Japanese, and of course he didn't. So now he's on Duolingo learning Japanese because he wants to go back. Dude, you're there. You're there in the environment, and you don't learn it. Well, I didn't want to, Dad. It's like, okay, whatever.
I'll learn
What are
it
you
now.
Yeah.
Well, I got about 15 minutes left, guys, just to give you a heads up.
Okay.
Because
No problem,
I
man.
got to go to work today too.
No
So,
I already went to work, man. Come on, slacker.
yeah, you got it
look,
done already. Yeah, that's
Look at that.
awesome.
So I want to ask you a question because come on, stupid. I follow you. Obviously, we're friends.
No questions.
What is that?
Of an
It's the
extremely
refresh
personal
rate of the
nature.
Camera and your light in the background.
Okay. Oh, there we go. So, but I noticed from last time we spoke, Mike,
Mhm.
you've kind of went down a fitness path.
Yeah.
Like you always were into fitness because I before we had you on, what I didn't know about you through the
Yeah.
Rodardi family and stuff, obviously you're a fit individual, but you've kind of taken a turn to the whole fitness aspect. Can you talk a little bit about that?
As far as the theme of my
Yeah.
Instagram, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like just kind of fun, like posting different things I was doing, and that would also challenge me to think of something to do that I wanted to post. But
Mm-hmm.
so in a way, then but then at some point I felt like I was getting too like wrapped up in the idea of I got to do something that I'm going to post, so I kind of cooled off on it a bit. But
Okay.
but I am still, I'm definitely, that was probably, like a lot of what I've done this year is like boxing twice a week,
Right.
gyms the other days, and so they're definitely, I feel like I am trying to, I guess I'd say I'm trying to squeeze every drop of performance I can get out of this body while I still can, is
Yeah.
one, basically, right?
Mhm.
So, and part of that is just like, finding new things to challenge myself or to keep me engaged in this fitness journey. So
Now, because boxing is always fascinating me, but I won't even attempt it because the degenerating vertebrae in my neck, so there's just no way. But have you actually sparred with anybody yet, or is it just more training side of it?
Yeah, no, it's been a few months since I sparred. I'm about to start doing it. Honestly, the last time I did it, I got so winded after
Really?
like a minute that I was like, oh shit, I've got to get in better shape to be able to.
And you're already in shape.
Yeah, but you think you're in shape until you get in a boxing ring. And
No shit.
Someone's trying to knock your head off,
Okay.
and you're moving around and punching, and after about a minute, I was pretty winded, and then I only did a couple of rounds, and I realized that I need to get in better shape and also
That's
work on
interesting.
my defense and footwork too.
Okay,
So
that's
yeah,
interesting. Because
yeah,
next week we're having our Jake Johnson back on the show. He's a boxer we had on, I think, the second year.
yeah,
So I never thought of that. I never thought of, because you are. I mean, I know obviously there's a lot of cardio that comes to boxing.
yeah.
So
Right.
did you watch the Jake Paul and the Anthony Joshua fight?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you could call that a fight, I did watch it. It was entertaining. It was so what I noticed with Jake Paul is that I think his plan coming into that match was to avoid Anthony as much as he could, to try and just stay away from him. And he noticed that as the rounds progressed, that he was having more trouble staying away from.
And he kept dropping his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in the first round, he started dropping his hands.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just from
his
being
defense
tired?
was pretty good though. He dodged a lot of
Sure,
he dodged
did.
a lot of blows.
Yeah.
But then he would get down and grab. He would either fall to the mat or get knocked down, and he would grab Anthony's
Joshua.
leg like this, which he did that so many times. I'm like, what's this?
What do you?
This is a
They spent a lot of
strange
time on his
strategy.
knees.
He did spend a lot of time on his knees.
Yeah. So it was, I think these are shows though. Like these are spectacles. Like the things Jake Paul does. It's not like
it's a money grab for sure.
It is a total money grab. They both made $92 million.
Yeah.
I mean, and now Tyson's come out saying, I want to fight him again with no script. I had to fight where I fight because I needed the money, which everybody knew that fight was bullshit.
Yeah, Tyson shouldn't fight again. His leg work, he just doesn't have the legs anymore, like to get around. Like he still has his punch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like he could take a punch and throw a punch, but like when I watch that fight, I was like, his legs are just not there anymore to do what he needs to do.
That's interesting. I never thought about that either. The legs.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of it too, with everything, with the power in your punch, the positioning, getting around, your defense was like, So much about the leg work.
That's cool. That's a good approach. So what's your favorite workout? If I had to say, Mike, we're gonna go do your favorite workout today, what would it be?
Yeah, I guess it would be a boxing workout. I mean, just because it hits all, your cardio. You probably do some body weight exercise. You can do some squats and some push-ups and maybe pull-ups. Not really gonna like in a boxing training workout. I don't really get on the weight machines or anything, but you're doing body weight exercises, some cardio, some a lot of different things. So it definitely gets me more to where I'm just dripping sweat after a few minutes, which is
the whole point of working out.
Yeah. So like if I go to the gym by myself and do weight training, like I'm not really sweating bullets. I'm like taking a little rest in between sets and all that. So.
Well, yeah, because that's weight training, right? Weight training's boring.
It is, right. It's not as engaging and that. Yeah. So yeah, for sure. Yeah. So or even just going for a nice run. I still like going for a little run. I haven't been doing as much lately, but yeah.
So this is kind of cool. Hold on, you're gonna like this. Well, you may not like it. Boom. That's you jump roping, right?
Nice.
Yeah, it looks like I'm way up high, which I thought was cool because of the angle or something. Yeah,
it's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
So in the jump rope, that's a part of it too. Is like getting proficient at jump rope, which is a really great exercise.
Is this when you hang upside down? Oh, that's just the monkey bars.
I think it goes to the monkey bars there. Yeah.
Yeah. Which EOS do you work out at?
I don't go to EOS anymore. That one was the one on Warner and McClintock over in Tempe, but
gotcha.
I canceled that because I just wasn't hardly using it. So it's Tsubasa I go to when I go to the gym, which is a nice, they have a really nice gym over here on Alma School in Ray.
There he is, boxing.
That's over at Iron Gloves in Tempe.
Okay.
Yeah.
How hard
and getting
is that?
better at the speed bag too has been something like I don't know if that was my last one, but like if you notice, for like the first time I posted a speed bag,
November 23rd, 2025. So about a month.
Yeah,
so
that's probably the latest one. Like if you go back and look at my earlier speed bag, I'm a lot slower. So like I've also been able to get up to speed with that.
How much of that is cardio? How much is your heart pumping from doing that?
That's not too strenuous with the cardio, but with like the shoulders and the arms, like that can be, tiring after a time until you get where, fitness there.
Right on. That's Michael Rose. If you want to follow Mike on Instagram, there he goes. There's his LaRose Fitness.
Yeah. I don't know. I was looking for a different handle, and that seemed. It is. Yeah, definitely. The fitness is a big part of the theme, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was same for me when I stopped drinking. It's just you dive into fitness. You got to do something with your time. You got to occupy your mind somehow.
Yeah, with being older and not being in partying anymore. I think you see people go in different directions as they get like around our age. They're going to become day drinkers and all the time drinkers, maybe, or they're going to get really into fitness.
Yeah. Right. It's a spectrum. Which end of the spectrum are you on?
Or like I don't know what you're doing if you're in between. If you're not doing either of those things, what the hell are you doing? But
that is a true story for a lot of people, though. A lot of people redline it all the way to the end.
Yeah. As far as the drinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There are some moderate. I would consider myself a moderate, I'm somewhere in the middle. I try and take care of myself, but I also still have a good time. So.
Right. But you're not drinking a 6-pack either. You have a beer and you're done.
Yeah. I'm definitely not drinking to the point where I'm blacking out anymore because that's not fun.
No.
Chris knows where I spent my New Year's Eve. I was watching high school basketball. So yeah, things have changed.
Yeah. Nick and I were watching, what was it? Lost, a few episodes of Lost. And
did you watch it when it first came out?
No, we just stumbled on it.
Really?
Yeah. We're in season 4 now.
Dude,
that was a show that like before, it was like before streaming really took off and but it was like a show that would have been a streaming show, like as far as like it it kept people coming back for many seasons,
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah, you'll really enjoy it, man.
Yeah. We're towards the end of the 4th season.
Right.
We just wrapped up Nurse Jackie, which was interesting. You ever seen that one?
Nurse Jackie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
Nurse
series
Jackie?
too.
Oh, yeah.
With Edie Falco.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming back for another season. That's why we watched it.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see where they pick that up because, if you watched the last scene of the last episode of season 7, it's like, all right then.
Yeah, she's such a great actress, and that's a
Yeah.
perfect role for her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else you want to add there, Mike LaRose?
no, to yeah, no, I don't know what's coming up. We got some good shows coming up around town. You guys keeping tabs on that? Or you're in Michigan or something, aren't you, Mike?
He's in
Where are you at?
Illinois. I'm in
Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, well, I have to say that I wanted to add that Chicago also had an impact on my, I guess my musical, my, experience.
The band Chicago.
No, being in Chicago
Oh, okay.
and being exposed to blues and jazz too, like probably more blues, but the blues and jazz scene in Chicago, it probably still
Outstanding.
is, was amazing, like in going to little bars and clubs and hearing these bands and musicians, or just the jazz improv and
Yeah.
stuff too. That was a whole nother part. So, I think with the music too, like being able to, my life being in different areas and different times and getting exposed to these different genres of music too was really great for my, I guess, appreciation of music too, and like, so I really benefited from that, like being in different areas during different times when music was, or even, going out to Seattle in 1992 and seeing some local bands, and I never got to see Nirvana or
Literally
Stone Temple
witnessing
Pilots.
history at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, but just kind of getting a taste of the flavor and the culture, and so
That's one thing that when Chris and I were in Nemesis, we were hyper aware of what was going on at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We used to sit and talk about how much good music was coming out. It was like just one banger album after another,
Yeah.
You knew that you were living through a special time because there was so much, you were just inundated with just so much good music.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I noticed talking about, you living in Chicago and the guitar playing and the jazz and when I moved to Arizona, I noticed right away that there was a sound that came out of this part of the country that nobody else grabbed onto. Because I used to get complimented all the time on my tone, the way that our actual audio was, not just the songwriting, but how good we sounded. And I was like, the way I was raised in the music business in this part of the country was, you can write the best song in the world, and if you don't present it the right way, nobody's going to want to listen to it. If you got a tinny guitar and a shitty PA system and no light show, who's going to want to see you,
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought all that was a given. And then Chris and I would go see local bands, and some of them had their shit together and some of them didn't. It's like, do you not know how to tune your guitar? Do you not know how to get a good tone out of that amplifier? Those kind of things.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up the blues scene in Chicago because it's still outstanding and it's definitely lent itself to the world for a lot of years.
Yeah. When Nikki and I were in New Orleans, we went one of the nights we were there we went on a cruise that neither one of us jumped over the side. And we just stumbled into a couple bars and listened to some of the live music. It was fun, man. Those jazz musicians, blues musicians they're a whole different level, especially just sitting there jamming in a bar.
Yeah, there's another city
night
that
after night
has given the world a sound that doesn't come from anywhere else other than that particular city.
Right.
Memphis is another one.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm sure Mike's got to get out of here. So we'll wrap this up. If you, number one, thank you for coming back on the show, Mike. Sorry I missed the first half an hour of it.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back, man.
And
I appreciate you guys. Maybe sometime we could talk about, so something that's interesting to me is pharmaceuticals too.
Okay.
And like, especially with regard to mental health, and, which I, work in the mental health field. So, but yeah, it was fun coming back. We did, just kind of free willed it this time, but
Yeah.
that's kind of
No, I'll send you a link. You can we'll get you back on. Love to talk
if
about
you want to do a
pharmaceuticals.
show on that, we'll do that. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. You know, we like talking to you, Mike. You're cool people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you. Same here. Yeah, I saw you'd just done an episode on mental health and NFL or something, or
Some of our
so I
random
wanted to listen to that one too,
Yeah,
but I haven't
yeah.
had a chance to yet.
Yeah, no, we're good, man. Yeah, come on, we'll set you up again. Can we have you come back on in a couple months? We'll talk about whatever you want to
Yeah,
talk
what
about.
I can do we can do like 3-hour show or something like a Rogan
Sure.
style.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
podcast.
Fridays are the best for that.
Yep.
Someday when I don't have to go to work immediately would be good. But
There you go.
so.
Yeah, so cool. All right, so again, boys and girls, Chris and Mike show. If you're feeling depressed, suicidal, don't do it. Go scream in a pillow, go journal, go run, go find somebody to talk to. If you can't find somebody to talk to, text 988. Somebody is there waiting and willing to talk to you off the cliff.
Crisis line.
Tomorrow is a better day with you in it. Don't leave a hole in somebody else's heart because you decide that you don't belong here, because you actually do. That being said, I'm Chris, he's Mike, and that's Mike LaRose. Find him on Instagram, LaRose_fitness, right? Is that it?
All right, that's
There
it.
you go.
Yes.
Love you guys. Have a great day.
All
I'll talk
right.
to you soon.
Love you too,
All
brother.
right.
Thanks for
All
coming
right,
on,
Chris
Mike.
and Mike.
See
All
you.
right. Thanks a lot.
Peace.
Happy New Year.
Hey, tell the family I said hi.
All right, we'll do.
All right, cool.
You too. All right, thanks.
Quickly